Welcome to Mint. I'm Malia Politzer. In today's edition of From the Newsroom, I have with me Elizabeth Roche. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Hi.
We're here to discuss Obama's victory in the U.S. presidential elections and its implications for India. Elizabeth, can you tell me what another 4 years of Obama means for India?
I believe there's going to be a consolidation of Indo-US relations. The Obama administration, in its first term, there was this question, there were lots of questions about how, ties with India would, be taken forward, especially after the Bush years where we had the historic Indo-US nuclear deal. Obama started his tenure with, a reference to G2, that is the US and China coming together to sort out global problems. There were differences of opinion on Afghanistan, on Pakistan, etc. But that took about 18 months to sort out. But having, sorted out those problems or disagreements, if you will, if you can, use that term, there was a consolidation of Indo-US ties. Now there is a dialogue between India and the US on all sorts of issues, strategic, education, health, science and technology, military exercises, so across the board, we have a strategic dialogue, which is happening. And I think, this dialogue or this foundation which has been, established, not only by the Obama administration, but before that was as well, that's going to get consolidated.
Many Indian companies have voiced some concerns about Obama's policy on trade and immigration. Can you tell me a little bit about how you expect that to play out?
I think we need to sift between election time rhetoric and actual policies. One of the examples that I'd like to say about, or give right now is on, H-1B visas. I believe there are 65,000 visas open for Indians to take each year. There was a Republican, initiative or, a policy thought at least that this will be cut down to 55,000, especially under those, for students or people, Indians applying for visas under science, technology, engineering, and maths. These are the categories. So the whole question was, what if Romney comes in, and what if, instead of 65,000, it's going to come down to 55. So in a way, Obama coming back, the cap will rest at 65,000, or so we hope. But I think what the Indian industry will try and prove is that through technology, through innovation, etc., jobs can be created rather than Indians taking away jobs. Again, with partnerships, with joint ventures, Indian companies going and setting up base in the US, there will be employment generated for American companies, for American people, rather than India taking away those jobs. I think, we need to look at all this.
So during the presidential debates, Obama spoke a lot about his foreign policy in terms of relations with China, Afghanistan, and Iran. So tell me a little bit about how you think that foreign policy stance will play out and the implications for India.
Well, with reference to China, the thing is, the Chinese are going to have a change in leadership. That's going to take place next week or towards the end of this month. A lot of how China comes up, how China rises, a lot of that will impact on Indo-US relations. Because, or even US relations with countries in this region, simply because if China is more assertive, if it, exerts itself in a very, domineering or a rough fashion, you're going to have a lot of the small countries like Philippines or Vietnam. They're already worried about this rise of China. So they are definitely going to campaign for an increased American presence, in the Asia Pacific. Now, Obama has, the Obama administration, has articulated a rebalancing towards Asia. Now, a rebalancing towards Asia involves, participation of countries like India, like Australia, for example. So it's a policy which, the contours of which will have to be defined by how China comes up. Again, now when it comes to Iran, well, Iran is a question that India has to sort of be a little nuanced about, simply because it is one of the energy sources, nearest sources of energy for India. India and the US do have significant differences on this subject. India does not want another nuclear power or a country with nuclear weapons in its neighborhood. But it's against the use of any kind of military force to stop that. So there are differences of perception here. So far, they have been India and the US have been talking to each other, and I think there is a certain understanding there. It all depends on how soon Iran or how fast Iran, proceeds towards, weaponization.
Okay, so it seems like we're really just going to have to wait and see.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for your insights, Elizabeth. And that wraps up today's show. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for next time.